Good morning. Today is Saturday, February 9th. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. Everybody else in my house is still sleeping. It's very cold outside, or at least it sounds cold because it's really windy, but I'm not going outside to find out. Today we're going to show you how I made these little chapstick or lip balm holders. I'm actually going to be giving these away during my next class. They're going to be part of their card kit. I just like to give something small to show what else you can do besides just cards. So this is what I'm going to be giving away with the card kits on February 23rd. To make this, let me show you what you will need. You're going to need a piece 5 inches by 3.5 inches of cardstock. We're using Coastal Cabana. You'll need a coordinating the same cardstock, unless you want it in a different color, which is going to be 3 inches by, let me make sure I get this right, 3 inches by 2 3/4 inches. You will need 4 small pieces of Designer Series paper. I'm using the Tea Room paper, Designer Series paper. These need to be 2 5/8 by 5/8 of an inch, and you need 4 of them, exactly the same size. You will also need some ink. I'm using Bermuda Bay. I don't have Coastal Cabana, or at least I can't find it, so we're going to use Bermuda Bay, but I think that'll be nice and dark. That's just going to be for our sentiment. You also need just a scrap of white. That's going to be for the sentiment, and I'm going to be using the label punch to cut it out. You need some kind of embellishment. I'm using, again, from the Tea Room suite. I'm using a little bit of the ribbon, and I'm not sure what other embellishments I'm going to use, but I just grabbed these out of my stash and we'll see what looks good on them. I'm using a stamp from Amazing Life. This is the Occasions catalog. I am using You Are Amazing. I also used I Believe in You on one of them, and I also used You Look Gorgeous from another stamp set. But today we're going to be using this one, and we're going to use You Are Amazing for that. Okay, so we're going to start by scoring. It looks complicated, but it really isn't. It's very, very simple to do this project. Let's get out our scoreboard. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, the first part we're going to score is this small piece that on the 3-inch side. We're going to score it at 1.5. I already had that scored. So it basically is in half. Okay, now this is going to be where there's lots of scoring. I made a little template up, but nobody will figure that out except for me. It's in my little chicken scratch writing. Okay, so on the long side, we're going to be scoring at 1 1/8 and 3 7/8. Okay, and then we're going to score at 3/8. And then we just flip it around and score it at 3/8 on this side. I just found this a little bit easier than remembering. Okay, now you're going to turn it this way. You have the 4 there. And now we're going to start scoring up that way. Now you're going to start at 3/4 of an inch, 1.5, 2 1/4, and 3. And basically they're 3/4 of an inch apart. The top one is a 1/2 inch apart right there. Okay? And that's all you need for scoring. Okay, so now you see where the 1/2 inch is. That's I'm going to call it the top. And you're going to cut away some things you don't need. There's 4 little blocks right there. You don't need those. So we're going to cut those away on both sides. Now I don't want to see the score line in my finished project. Now in reality, you're not really going to see any of this. You're only going to see the fronts and the sides. You're not really going to see these parts because they're going to be inside. Okay, There we go. That one and this one. Okay, now on both these sides, okay, again, that's the 1/2 inch side. So on both these sides, you're going to cut down to the second score line, okay, on those two, on both sides. And flip it around, do the same thing on the other side. Just to the second score line. Okay, these two tabs, you ignore them, don't worry about them. You're going to worry about these two outside ones. Where that first score line is, you're going to cut just underneath there. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be even, you're not going to see it. You just need to be below that score line. On both sides. Okay. Okay, now we have this weird looking thing happening here. Okay, now we're going to notch, or you might call it miter. All we're doing is removing a little sliver just to make it so that we can close it and doesn't extend past when we close it, that type of thing. So you're going to notch them just down to the score line. This one here, at that first score line, it's the same thing. You're just going to notch it, because these are going to be like the little tabs to go inside the box. Again, you don't see them, so you don't have to fuss over them not looking great. It's okay. It's all going to work out. But this helps the box close really nicely. Okay, and then the same with the top. This is the top flap. We're going to notch just to the score line, and just a little sliver. I didn't quite get that one to the score line, so we'll do that one again. And now we even have a weirder looking thing that kind of looks like that. Okay, this is going to be inside, this is going to be the outside. Okay, so we're going to take those little pieces of Designer Series paper and we're going to put them on both of these. You're going to put them on 1, 2, not this one, but the final one. So you're going to skip this one because this one's the back one. So you're going to cover it up, so you're not going to see it. So where that 1/2 inch piece is, you're going to put 1, 2, skip 1, and put 1 there. I'm using, I could use snail adhesive for this, or a tape runner, but I'm going to use Tombow, a liquid glue, for this. I want it, especially when I'm actually closing the box up, I do want it to be really, 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 really strong. So that one was a little off, but oops, I think I'm almost out of glue. Good thing I have lots. Skip that one. And on the bottom one. Okay, I'm just going to let that dry. I'm going to put a block over top of it just to make it try to stay flat. On this one, where that score line is, this is going to go right underneath that score line. I just find it easier to put these papers on before I've actually folded them and burnished the score lines. Okay, now we're going to fold and burnish all of our score lines. That one right in there. Okay, so all of our score lines have been folded and burnished, and then we'll do this one as well. Okay, we put that off to the side for a second. Now we're going to stamp our sentiment. And punch it out. Okay, we're going to glue this part shut. It's doubled up to give it stability more than anything else. It's not doubled up for any other reason. It's just to give it a lot of stability. Oops. Okay, now we'll put our box together. On this little 1/2-inch piece up there, you're going to put, that's the only spot you're going to put adhesive, is right up there. Fold that in like that, fold it right in half, and bring it up to the other side. Now you have a flat box. I would let it set a little bit, but we don't have any time. So now squish it open. This side we will close up. Unless you want that side to have a little notch to open it up with. But that side, for me, I consider that my closed end. And then up here at this end, we want to notch it. I'm going to use just an ordinary everyday household hole punch. I'm not making a big hole. I'm just kind of notching it so that you have that little notch there to open it up. So your lip balm would just slide in there like that. Okay. And if you want it on that side, you can just turn it over, but we're doing it that way. Now we're going to attach some ribbon to this before we attach it to the box. This side is going to be hidden. You're not going to see it. That's where we're going to actually attach the ends. I'll just put a little bit of adhesive right there. You don't want it over the wording though. Okay, cut it a little bit too big. And now I can either make a bow out of that or I can just tie it. I think we're going to make a little bow because it's thin enough to make a bow. Not that I'm a good bow maker. Those little ends off. Okay, to attach that, I think I'm just going to use a glue dot. I think that would be easier. There we go. I want to be able to see the wording. Okay, now we're going to attach this to our box. Again, I would use liquid glue for this. I think you just want it to be really strong. I don't think snail would be strong enough for this. It could possibly fall apart. Okay. Give me a second, let that dry just for a second, and then we'll decide what embellishments we'd like on this. If any. We don't necessarily have to put on any. That's nice, but I think it kind of gets washed out a little bit. So there's that. So I think we'll go with the little gems here. These are adhesive back, so which makes it nice. I don't have to worry about trying to get glue or anything on them. And one more, a third one. That might be overkill, but I do like things in threes. Okay, and there's our little lip balm chapstick little box. I think they're really cute. I think you could make these up in red for Valentine's Day. I did actually I originally was going to make them all Valentine's Day, but I think I prefer it not because my workshop's going to be after Valentine's Day. This one though, I did add just a die cut from the Be Mine stitched framelit dies on the front instead, and I didn't add any designer series paper. But then I also made these ones out of Melon Mambo. This one's the one that says You Look Gorgeous. This one's out of the Share What You Love designer series paper in So Saffron. And then of course the Gingham Gala Highland Heather designer series paper. And this one says You Are Amazing. So there you have it. Some really cute little chapstick boxes. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you give it a try. It really isn't that difficult to make them. It seems complicated, but they're really not. If you're interested in anything that you saw today, please hop on over to my online store at www.dragonfliescreations.stampinup.net. use this host code for the month of February, and I will send you a cardstock pack to make the Lasting Lily gift card set that I showed in a previous video, as long as your order is over $40. If your order is over $40, over $200, please don't use this host code. You'll still get the cardstock pack, just don't use the host code, because Stampin' Up! Actually gives you additional stamping rewards. Remember, during celebration, if your order hits $300, you actually get an additional $30 in stamping rewards. So if you're at like the $270, $280 mark, you might want to, find something else that you like to add and make it over the $300, so you can get the additional $30 in stamping rewards, as well as the original stamping rewards. Hopefully that made sense. You'll see everything over on my online store again, www.dragonfliescreations.stampinup.net. I hope everybody has an awesome weekend, and we will talk to you soon.